Dude, this is freaky. No.
What would you do if an ordinary outdoor trip suddenly became impossible to predict? One man is physically pulled by something he cannot see, while another meets a stranger making disturbing claims beside an isolated river. How long would you stay? On August 18, 2026, Mamat and Irfan from Jejak Camping traveled by boat into a remote section of Sungai Mati for an overnight trip. Their channel focuses on camping, fishing, and outdoor journeys in isolated places. The narrow dead-end river was crowded by fallen trees and tangled roots along the banks. They planned to fish, eat, and sleep on the water. But the deeper they went, the more uneasy the location became.
Buntu bang, nggak bisa lagi masuk bang. Sungainya benar-benar mati bang. Kayu banyak, jalan buntu. Mati sungai. Mati betul-betulan. Ini ada pohon tumbang juga. Terjebak kita nih kayaknya. Ikat sih bang. Kita ikat aja dulu kan. Di sini. Mana bisa masuk lagi kita? Ini yang dikatakannya nggak? Kok bisa masuk lagi? Jangan segini nggak bang. Masih di sini bang. Katakan mereka kemarin, storynya itu lokasinya di Sungai Mati yang buntu juga bang ya. Ini mungkin ujungnya. Gimana lagi kita mau masuk kan? Serem banget. Nah, itu teman. Serem banget lokasinya nih. Takutnya banyak ularnya nih. Sungainya kecil. Nah, kita apa dulu teman-teman ya? Kita masak dulu lah. Kita pasang ini bendera lagi. Tadi banyak kayu nyangkuti. Jadi kita bolo dulu sampannya biar tenang kita mau masak.
Farther inside Sungai Mati, the route became too narrow to continue. Fallen trees and exposed roots blocked the waterway, forcing them to stop and tie the boat beside the forest. As the tide dropped, the boat settled lower and moved even closer to the roots and dark shoreline.
Dengar bang? Gimana enggak? Sungai ini mati teman-teman, nggak ada jalur mau ke sana lagi. Ada suara kayak jebur-jebur bang ya? Iya, mungkin ikan tuh gitu teman ya. Kita takut ada predator jebur-jebur kayak mandi-mandi gitu ya. Cuman udah hilang ya, jadi kita habisin dulu makanan. Nah, dari depan sini sih tadi.
During dinner, a sudden splash hit the water beside them. Both men immediately stopped and listened. They could not see what caused it, though they considered a large fish or another animal nearby. Nothing appeared on the surface.
Nah, aku nggak dikasih lampu nih, nggak kelihatan. Silo padahal. Nah, ini baru enak ya. Dari atas apa dari mana tadi? Arahnya seperti dari atas teman-teman ya. Mungkin musang lah teman ya. Kayak suara perempuan sih tadi. Entah musang perempuan, mungkin monyet. Nggak tahu nanti nih gimana terakhirnya. Udah terjepit ini, nggak bisa kemana-mana lagi. Banyak suara aneh sih teman-teman. Pas kita nggak hidupin kamera pun banyak tadi tidak tertangkap kamera ya. Suara aneh-aneh aja, seperti nangis kayak perempuan. Ada juga tadi pas dari air pun ada kayak. Jadi kami putuskan aja lah teman-teman, pokoknya di sini ya pedoman kami katanya sudah sungainya di ujung sungai katanya. Tak tahu dahulunya di sini kejadian ada apa-apa aja. Para nelayan dari zaman dahulu sampai sekarang kita nggak tahu teman-teman. Kita ada suara. Nggak kedengaran kamera itu nggak? Mungkin kedengaran nih. Cuma cek sayap lah maksudnya. Halo? Halo? Apa itu? Gak ada sautan.
diam aja. Mungkin malah mencekam teman-teman ya di sini.
Nah, teman-teman, biarin aja lah ya. Apapun itu. Kita bersantai lah itu teman ya. Mudah-mudahan nggak terjadi apa-apa, takut hewan buas sih teman-teman ya. Ini juga hewan buas dan hewan berbisa juga.
The strange sounds continued. One came from the trees above. Later, they heard something in the distance that resembled a woman's voice. More noises followed, including faint crying and movement in the darkness. A sharp knocking sound then came from outside. One of the men called out, but no one answered.
Kita sudah pasang tenda, sudah mengamati cukup lama teman-teman. Kayaknya cuman suara-suara jauh ya, nggak terlalu dekat.
Tapi pun kita nggak tahu juga penunggu sungai ini teman-teman ya. Namanya sungai mati, sungai angker, dan sungai tidak ada penunggu sama sekali manusia ya.
Kita pasang CCTV udah. Jadi lanjut, kita mau istirahat dulu teman-teman. Kayaknya aman sini. Semoga ada terlihatlah sosok ataupun apa yang ada di sungai ini ya.
They eventually set up a tent on the boat and aimed an infrared camera outside. After another noise, one of them stepped out with a flashlight and checked the surrounding area. He found nothing unusual and returned to the tent. Once both men were asleep, the infrared camera recorded the most disturbing part of the night. An unclear form appeared near the trees. Other faint shapes or movement became visible beside the boat and along the bank. A darker shape appeared farther behind the boat near the shoreline. The footage never clearly revealed what these forms were. Mamat and Irfan remained asleep and seemed completely unaware of what the camera was capturing outside. Some viewers suspected something paranormal, while others pointed to snakes, crocodiles, or unseen wildlife around the boat. What do you think the infrared camera actually captured that night? A birthday hike was supposed to end with 6 friends heading home after visiting a waterfall. Instead, a parking dispute with a stranger turned into a frightening confrontation that was captured almost entirely on camera. In June 2026, a disturbing video was posted on the TikTok account Mushy Gooms and quickly drew attention from the outdoor community. Creator Lily and 5 friends had been documenting a 3-hour hike in Dunsmore, California, while celebrating a birthday at Hedge Creek Falls, a 35-foot waterfall surrounded by woods. Everything had gone peacefully until they returned from the trail.
You were being disrespectful to start with.
Because they're picketing people.
Okay, well we're leaving.
Not your rule that we have to apologize. Don't
Back
come
the
up
fuck
in my
away.
face.
Back the fuck away. Back the fuck away.
Hey!
Hey!
Alright, get in the car. Let's go.
Back the fuck away from me. You just fucking hit me.
You're gonna break your fucking window.
As the group headed back toward their vehicles, a man standing higher up the hill suddenly began yelling that they were not allowed to park there. Lily and her friend Lena immediately tried to avoid trouble and told him they were leaving. Instead of letting them go, the man came down the hill, approached one of the women, and continued shouting. What began as a disagreement over parking quickly became much more hostile.
Hey, get away! Get away from my face!
I don't have to get away from you.
Why are you up in my face like that?
Because you're stupid and you
I
can't
will
read a
bury
sign.
you. Fuck. Back away from me right now.
We're about to leave.
Back away
Like,
from me right the fuck now.
we're literally
Get your
leaving.
ass in your car and get out of here.
Okay, then walk away.
Get your ass in your car and get out of here. Get your ass in. Yeah, the first thing that came out of my mouth is you're not allowed to park here. You should have said, I'm sorry. Because you're breaking, because they're ticketing people.
The group repeatedly tried to leave, but the man kept insisting that they had parked improperly. According to the video, several other vehicles were parked near the same sign. The friends were also confused because the man did not appear to be a ranger or another official with authority over the parking area.
Please leave. We already said that we were leaving. That was the first thing that came out of my mouth.
Yeah, the first thing that came out of my mouth is you're not allowed to park here. You should have
That's
said,
okay,
I'm
and we're
sorry.
leaving. You were being disrespectful to start with,
Because they're
so.
ticketing people.
Okay, well, we're leaving.
Don't come up my face.
Hey!
Alright, get in the car. Let's go.
Even after they continued saying they were leaving, he followed them, moved into their personal space, and demanded an apology. As the confrontation became more intense, Nay pulled out bear spray that she had originally brought for protection from wildlife. She warned the man to stay back and told him she would spray him if he continued approaching. He did not back away. Instead, he moved toward another member of the group who was standing outside the camera's view while holding his fishing poles in a way the group considered threatening. Believing the situation was becoming dangerous, Nay sprayed him in the face. The confrontation immediately escalated.
Let's go, Nate.
Get out of here.
Open the car. Open it, open it, open it, open it.
Don't come up my face. Alright, get in the car. Let's go.
Come on, Ava.
The man struck Nay with his fishing poles, causing her to spray him again. Her friends rushed toward their vehicles as the situation became chaotic. He then turned toward Nay's car, hitting the window, with his hands kicking the side of the vehicle and picking up rocks from the ground, while Nay used the remaining bear spray. After photographing their license plate, the man eventually stepped away. The group used the opportunity to leave and immediately contacted police. However, the dispute continued after they were gone. Lily later said in a follow-up video that the group cooperated with police and learned that the man had made a report about the confrontation.
Okay, so here's the story time. Anyways, he's taking pictures of our license plate. Whatever. We leave, we go home, we're chilling. We end up having to talk to the cops. We were fully compliant because, we know that we did nothing wrong. This man did not press charges. He did make a false report, however. He said that he was minding his business and that we walked up on him, which in the videos you can see that is not true, and we just bear sprayed him and then took off. Not true at all. And that's why he didn't press charges, was because he knows he is in the wrong. So basically it's going to get sent to the DA, and they're either going to punt it or they're going to go through with it. The cops said they're most likely going to punt it because the video shows self-defense and he did lie in his report.
According to Lily, he claimed that he had been minding his own business when the group approached him, sprayed him, and then drove away. Lily said the footage showed a different sequence of events. She explained that the case was expected to be sent for further review, and that police believed the video supported the group's claim of self-defense. She also said the man did not ultimately press charges. After the footage spread online, viewers debated the group's decision to use bear spray. Lily and her friends explained that they believed they were facing an immediate threat and said they would not have used it if the man had stopped approaching them. What began as a birthday hike at Hedge Creek Falls ended with the group shaken by an encounter that started over parking. For them, having the cameras recording became especially important because the footage showed how the confrontation actually unfolded. Intense confrontations, creating distance, and trying to disengage can sometimes reduce escalation. In this case, the group repeatedly tried to leave while the man continued approaching. Do you think they had any safer option left? On July 30, 2026, the YouTube channel Ray Gloom's Real Life Encounters uploaded a video of Ray exploring an unfamiliar wooded area with his companion camel Tim. What begins as a normal walk changes when they notice several patches where the vegetation appears completely dead. They eventually reach a much larger dead zone stretching through the woods and decide to cross it toward a grassy clearing.
I just found another dead zone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, look at this.
It's a little bit bigger, too.
This one seems elongated, and it looks like it goes up a little ways. So I kind of want to go look over there.
I say we cut right across.
Okay, there's a little spot right there. Let's try her.
Yep.
While moving through the area, Tim suddenly feels something tugging at his leg. Ray initially assumes he is joking or that his clothing has caught on nearby branches. Tim, however, insists that something keeps pulling him.
Well, it is. It's a perfect circle around this area.
Stop tugging on my leg. You tugging on my leg?
I wasn't even there. I was right here.
Something's tugging on my leg. Let's go.
As they continue farther in, the sensation seems to become stronger. Tim grows increasingly uncomfortable and suddenly tries to move away. Moments later, Ray also feels something grab his leg.
Dude, what? Get off my leg! Get off!
Dude, what's the matter? Dude, why is Tim just freaking out? Okay, that was...
Oh! Oh! What the? What the? Oh! 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 What the freak? Joe! Get out of here! Oh my gosh! What the freak just happened? What the freak?
Something just pulled on my leg and just tossed me right off my feet. But there's nothing there!
The force pulls Ray backward and knocks him to the ground. He immediately checks around him but cannot find a branch root wire or other object that could have caught his foot. Still shaken, Ray believes the pull was strong enough to completely throw him off balance. As they begin leaving the clearing, Ray experiences another strange sensation. This time he feels something pulling at the hair on the back of his head.
Something is grabbing the back of my head.
Hey, this is not the way we came, but this will take us right to the road. Okay, let's just get out of here quick.
The sensation continues while they move away. Ray checks for low branches or anything else that might be touching him, but nothing obvious appears close enough. Because his camera continued recording during the fall, they hope the footage might reveal something they failed to notice at the time. Both men decide they have had enough and begin heading toward the road. Ray continues feeling something grabbing the back of his head. Instead of following the same route back, they take another path through the trees, because it leads more directly to their vehicle.
That was weird. How do you explain that? Unless the both of us are just going crazy, which is always a possibility, but I don't know.
Once safely inside, they try to understand what happened. Neither can identify anything in the clearing that could have physically pulled both of them, so they abandon the remaining locations they had planned to visit and leave the area. Dead vegetation can result from natural conditions such as soil problems, disease, or environmental stress, but that does not explain why both men believe they were physically pulled. Did they miss a simple physical explanation, or was something else responsible for what happened? A quiet investigation near Cornfield becomes far more unsettling once strange movement starts appearing in the darkness. After hearing a whistle and spotting possible figures beyond the plants, Dee eventually decides to enter the field alone. Dee's dark adventures visits a remote riverside path near a cornfield with Ralph. Poor reception prevents them from doing the live stream they had planned, so they begin recording instead while searching the area for unusual movement and possible figures. As they follow the river toward the cornfield, they discover a washed-out footprint and notice how high the water has risen.
And then I'm gonna go up to the cornfield and get going, right? But yeah, we're going up to the cornfield. I just never had the strength to go down this path, and now we got a footprint. Oh,
Yeah, big toe.
yeah. See it? Yeah, it's washed out, man. It was right. It was probably good until it rained. And the deer poo right next to it. Wow, dude, look at it. Oh man. Wow. Get washed away real good.
While heading back toward the field, Dee repeatedly hears movement and believes something may be watching them from a distance.
This This is what I'm talking about, how the flashlight gets hot. Feel that? They get hot on me, and
Is that the one I just got?
it might, yeah, it's the new kind. The closer zoomed in, the hotter it gets.
Near the corn, a whistle suddenly comes from the darkness. Dee then notices what appear to be two tall figures standing beyond the plants.
That was a whistle. The live stream ain't working, so we're just gonna record. What is that, guys? What is that? There's two tall beings back there. Hold on, I gotta get my... Woo! I don't see them unless I'm not in the same spot. But they watch from over top of it, man. It's crazy. Hello?
Through the fog, they briefly see a large light and what may be eyes. Seconds later, they hear breathing followed by a distant screech.
Dude, I don't know what that is, but that's creepy looking. Oh, it won't. The fog just makes it worse. People's always yelling at me, why didn't you shine light on it? It's fake, she didn't shine light on it. There's something screaming back here, like a screechy.
Wanting to investigate further, Dee ties a rope around herself so Ralph can stay connected to her from outside. She enters the tightly packed corn alone and activates the necrophonic app. Some of the responses appear to include words such as Satan pain and other fragmented sounds. Dee continues deeper into the field and tries to get anything nearby to respond. She soon hears another scream followed by a low growl.
Alright, let's sit in here for a minute. What is that? Looks like a face. Oh! That wasn't a car, that was a growl.
That she does not believe sounds like a passing vehicle. Shortly afterward, she senses that something may be approaching her as the movement continues around the rows.
Hello? Oh my god! I'm alright, it just ran past me, dude. Yep, I'm coming out.
Dee repeatedly notices what she believes are eyes appearing and disappearing ahead of her. Then something suddenly rushes past. She immediately ends the session and follows the rope back toward Ralph. After getting out, Dee explains that something seemed to creep up from behind before moving quickly around her.
Did you hear it? Yeah, it came like it was coming towards me and went around me. Man. And this is only the beginning. It was very quiet. I thought it was coming from that end. And then no, it was over here behind me. I was sitting here like this. Hello, and then it's coming from behind me. Man, that was a rush. Whew.
Ralph confirms that he also heard a large movement near her position. Dee says the rope was important because finding her way out through the fog and tall corn would have been difficult without it. Once outside, they hear another growl and several nearby branches snapping.
I thought I heard a growl.
They growled at me, and that's why I turned around. I was almost to that nearest tree right there.
Alright. Stick break. What was that? Something was just right. Dude, I keep seeing stuff and I go back and it ain't there. Hello?
Dee's flashlight then suddenly dies, while shadowy shapes appear to move above the corn through the mist. Rather than entering the field again, they leave the area and continue down the road. Fog and tall vegetation can distort distant sound direction and movement, making it difficult to identify what is nearby. However, the source of the repeated noises and sudden movement remains unclear. Was something ordinary hidden inside the corn, or did Dee encounter something neither of them could identify? The disturbing video that caused a stir was recorded in late July 2026 and uploaded to the YouTube channel Valley Shenanigans. It captured a strange encounter along the San Joaquin River in Central California. Valley had gone there with his fishing equipment, expecting another routine day, at a spot he already knew well after spending many hours fishing along those banks. While casting his line, he noticed someone near the shoreline. The man was standing close to the water, calling out to him and gradually moving closer. When Valley approached, the interaction immediately became unusual.
What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
What you up to out here, bro?
This is the Lord of the Celestial Armies.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
The Celestial Armies?
Celestial Armies. This is Michael. You are a spiritual being and you are dead already. You are dead.
Who are you, though?
I'm the one who asked the questions here and you need to answer. It is written.
Okay.
The stranger began speaking in religious terms, claiming to be the Lord of Celestial Armies and identifying himself as Michael. He then told Valley that he was a spiritual being who was already dead. His statements seemed completely disconnected from the situation around them. The encounter became even more unsettling because the man appeared to be completely alone. He had no visible fishing equipment and showed no obvious reason for being at the river. Valley quickly realized that this was not developing into a normal conversation. As they continued talking, the stranger became more personal. He accused Valley of disrespecting him and repeatedly claimed that Valley was stealing his honey. Valley explained that he was simply fishing, but the man continued making religious references and accusations that seemed unrelated to anything Valley had done. By this point, Valley was clearly uncomfortable.
Okay. What would you like to know?
Why do you keep disrespecting me when you know that I am the Lord?
Oh, man, I didn't know that.
Stealing my honey. Like right now, you are stealing my honey.
Stealing your honey? Oh, no, man, I'm not stealing anything, dude. I'm just fishing.
You are, I'm not a fish, dude.
No, I'm fishing.
I'm the lion of the tribe of Judah. And I'm not a fucking fish.
What's your name?
You must be sick, huh? You?
The stranger repeatedly returned to the same ideas about celestial armies, betrayal, disrespect, and missing honey. His statements became increasingly difficult to follow, while his behavior remained unpredictable. Valley tried to keep the situation calm, but reasoning with the man did not seem to help. The conversation continued, moving further away from anything logical and leaving Valley uncertain about what the stranger might do next. Eventually, Valley decided that staying nearby was not worth the risk.
You got ears?
Yeah.
What are they for?
For seeing.
That's right. Because I hear with my eyes and I see with my ears.
Yeah, me too.
That's right. And then get going, brother. I am the Lord, not a man.
Yep. You have a good day, Father. Spooky.
As he began moving away from the bank, the stranger made one final unsettling statement, once again insisting that he was the Lord rather than an ordinary man. Valley continued leaving and appeared relieved to finally create some distance before the encounter could escalate any further. After the footage spread online, viewers began debating what might explain the stranger's behavior. Some suggested extreme religious beliefs, while others wondered whether he could have been experiencing a serious mental health crisis or possibly been affected by substances. Without additional information, however, there was no way to determine what was actually happening. What made the encounter disturbing was not simply the unusual religious language, it was the man's unpredictable behavior, repeated accusations, and the fact that Valley had no way of knowing how far the situation might escalate. In the end, Valley left with disturbing footage and a strange story from what had started as an ordinary fishing trip. The encounter showed how quickly an isolated outdoor setting can become uncomfortable when someone nearby begins behaving unpredictably. Would you have left sooner or kept talking to him? What would you think if objects began moving while no one was near them? At Pokemoke Ranch, a series of equipment problems, unexplained sounds, and strange responses gradually turns another investigation into something much harder to explain. On December 11, 2024, the YouTube channel Search for Supernatural premiered a video documenting the team's return to Pokemoke Ranch. The channel focuses on paranormal investigations, haunted locations, eerie camping trips, and unexplained phenomena. Pokemoke Ranch is a place where the team had previously experienced unexplained movement and objects being thrown. This time they planned several solo challenges, an Estes experiment, and sessions involving Ouija boards. Chiggy begins alone inside the house, but his night vision camera unexpectedly reports a memory card error.
So I got a little technical difficulty. When I go to try to press record on my night vision camera, it is saying there's an error. Apparently there's something wrong with the memory card, or because it said check card. So I'm going with light. You know, we bring multiple cameras for a reason.
He switches equipment and places several motion-activated devices downstairs before heading into the attic. While asking questions, he hears an unexplained sound somewhere inside the building.
I also got the, what the f was that? I don't know. I also got this REM pod here in the middle of the floor. If you go close to the silver rod, it'll light up colors and let me know you're here. So is there anything here that would like to communicate? Were you originally from this land?
Soon, a music box repeatedly activates downstairs while Jiggy remains in the attic. Another device also goes off.
When we were here back over the summer, something touched my neck. Dude, I just heard the music box going off. What was that? If that was you down there setting the music box off, could you come up here to the attic? Dude, there it goes again. Could you come up here to the attic so we can have a conversation? Dude, that's a specter detector.
When he heads down to investigate, he hears something strike the stairs.
It just sounded like something hit the steps. Gotta check this out. Don't see anything. This music box keeps going off. The specter detector went off. Dude, what the f? No way. No way.
He then notices several kitchen cabinet doors standing open, even though he believes they were closed before he went upstairs.
I am almost positive they were closed when I went upstairs. I'm gonna have to review it back on my footage, but when I go to try to press record on my night vision camera, it is saying there's an error. So, dude, what the hell?
The team later begins an Estes-style experiment inside a cramped basement area. Through the headphones, they receive words that appear to include stolen, brutal, and corner.
If there's any spirits in the vicinity close to where we're at, could you come down to this basement so we can communicate?
People.
How many people? Can you tell us how many people there is?
Stolen.
What was stolen? Did you steal something?
Gone.
The basement becomes noticeably colder, and footsteps are heard on the floor above. As the experiment continues, more disturbing responses appear, including help find me danger and leave.
After.
At the same time, a sound occurs directly behind Tyler.
Right before.
It just said me.
I just heard a noise behind Tyler.
Oh, dude, I'm shaking right now.
Are you over there behind Tyler? Are you in that cubby with him?
It said leave.
Give us some good evidence and we'll leave. Give us some evidence that you're here.
While he is sitting near a small basement cubby, and he feels something against his back. They eventually move upstairs and use a pendulum Ouija board. When they ask whether something wants to communicate,
is there, huh? No, you can take your hand off. Is there anything here that wants to communicate? Whoa. Dude, hold up. That went straight to yes. That went straight to yes.
The pendulum moves toward yes. The session also appears to suggest that the presence may have entered through the reported portal in the basement and could be negative or possibly not human. They continue with the spirit box as the room grows colder and one camera shuts itself off. After a loud nearby noise, they decide to close the session.
Dude, this is freaky. Couldn't understand that. Something came through, but I couldn't understand it.
What'd it say? No.
Dude, close the circle. Close the circle.
What was that?
I don't know. I just heard something. It was. Dude, I'm dumb.
Okay.
How do we close the circle?
Seconds later, they discover that a golf ball placed at the top of the stairs has rolled or been knocked down, even though neither investigator was near it. Combined with the open cabinet doors and the earlier basement responses, the movement leaves them unsettled. Before leaving, they conduct one final EVP session in the attic. During playback, they hear a muffled voice that appears to say, "Help me out."
Oak Branch.
Is there anything here that would like to communicate?
Can you give us your name?
What the fuck was that?
Did you fucking hear that?
Bro, what was that?
Hold on.
What did that say?
I don't know. Hold on.
This is Tyler and Jiggy in the attic.
Oh, Jiggy, what the f?
Is there anything here
What was that?
Can you give us your name?
Get the f out of here.
Can you tell us why you're still
Get the f out of here.
What's it saying?
I don't know.
Can you give us your name?
What the f?
Tell us why you're still here?
There's no shot.
For the team, it becomes the clearest recording captured during the investigation. Older buildings can produce difficult to identify sounds through shifting materials, while electronic equipment can malfunction. However, those possibilities do not clearly explain every event reported during this investigation. Which moment do you think is the hardest to explain? The moving objects, the responses, or the final EVP recording? That's it for tonight. Which moment creep? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story, share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.